Today, it's Braveheart or bust, as Jedward guide a bunch of tourists through the ancient streets of Edinburgh.
Let's do this.
And compete to be the best tour guide.
There's no place like Scotland. There's no place like Scotland.
Their job is to use any means
Who wants to squeeze my bubo?
to pass on their newly found knowledge
Witches were burned here.
onto the unsuspecting public. But who will be king of the castle, and who will be the old reeky rascal?
I think I'm gonna wee my pants. Don't wet yourself.
Come with us, there's so much to discover. Crazy adventures with me and my brother. We'll dig up things and freak you out. Jedward's big adventure. We can talk, guys, there's so much to do. There's a whole night and the it's just for you. Never know what to find and you'll mess with your mind. Can't raise the treasure, it's totally wild. Amazing Jedward's big adventure.
3, 2, 1.
Jedward are on a mission to visit our biggest attractions and compete against each other to become the best tour guide. Each with help from a celebrity friend.
Do I look like a raven?
And today's assignment has taken them north.
We're in Edinburgh, Scotland, home of the haggis. Oh, gross. Edinburgh, place for magpies, go. Edward, away. Edward, look. Let's open it. It says, Dear Jedward, welcome to Edinburgh. In just 24 hours' time, you'll each have to give a group of tourists a guided tour. Whoever gives the worst tour will have to pay a very messy forfeit. No! Yeah. John, I think we gotta get some help. I know who we need, okay? We need somebody who knows all about deadly missions. Like...
Hi, Jedward.
It's Naomi Wilkinson from Live and Deadly. Oh, and I know who else we need. We need somebody who knows all about castles. Like someone from Harry Potter, for instance. Yeah, I know. Chris Rankin, a.k.a. Percy Weasley.
Hi, Jedward.
What's up, man?
Hi,
Okay,
guys.
so what do you guys know about Edinburgh?
It's in Scotland.
It's got a big castle.
Edward, you know, I think we're going to get the experts in on this, okay? So you guys relax while we go get the facts. Let's go, Edward.
So the boys' challenge is simple. They have just 24 hours to find out everything about Edinburgh before tomorrow, when they will compete to give the best guided tour. Today is the boys' only chance to get the info, and where better to start than the castle?
What's up? I'm John, he's Edward, and together we are Jedward. What's your name?
It's John.
Hey, I'm John as well. Your
Nice to meet
name's
you,
John.
John,
and his name's John, so that means that you're both called John.
Spooky.
Okay, John, what is this place?
This is Edinburgh Castle. This is a volcano that you're on top of. 340 million years ago, Edinburgh was one big erupting volcano. When it became extinct, it left behind a huge rock. And around 600 AD, a Celtic tribe known as the Godothan built the first ever fortress on top of it. This was replaced by a castle around 1130 AD, and over the next 200 years was rebuilt, done up and extended, eventually becoming the world-famous castle we see today.
I can't believe there was a volcano here. So what if the volcano one day just went, and then the castle went, and it was all like...
It's extinct. You're in no danger at all, guys.
Phew! That's a relief. But there is another crisis to deal with.
Like, it's so windy here. Our hair's actually trying to fight the wind. What do we do?
You just have to put in a lot of hairspray.
So, now that they've fixed their hair and found out all about the castle's origins, they're heading down into the dungeons in search of their next tale.
Is this like a prison?
It is a prison.
It's a prison?
Yeah.
So if I was a prisoner, I'd be sleeping down here.
You'd be sleeping down here, and it'd be a lot more crowded than it looks just now.
Can we get into a hammock?
Of course you can get into a hammock.
Go, John. This is so crazy. I'm in a hammock. Ha, 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 ha. I'm chilling in a hammock. I'm in a hammock. Ha, 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 hammock. All I know is, Kate, this isn't safe, Kate. If I was sleeping here, I'd fall out. Imagine if I was, you got swinging. That's the whole point.
The boys might be having fun, but back in the day, being locked up here was anything but fun, as a group of pirates were to discover.
In February 1720, the Scots stopped a suspicious-looking ship. the Eagle off the Argyle coast. Aboard were 21 pirates, along with a hoard of stolen treasure. The pirates were imprisoned in the castle for 6 months. Eventually, 7 were released, while the others were hanged to serve as a warning to any more pirates thinking of causing trouble on the seas around Scotland.
Can you give us your best pirate impersonation?
Arr, matey.
Arr, matey. Aye-oh.
Edward might need to practice his R's before tomorrow's tour. Now, get a move on, boys. You've got so much more to discover.
Come on, John and Don.
In just 24 hours, Jedward will be guiding tourists around the castle themselves, each assisted by a celebrity helper. John will be with Naomi and Edward with Chris.
Hang on, it's not really fair, because you've got an advantage being in Harry Potter. You know all about witchcraft and wizardry and castles and things.
Well,
I mean, what deadly animals are in Edinburgh Castle?
rats.
Don't worry, Naomi. There are lots of live and deadly rats coming up next, as Jedward are about to find out.
Keep going.
Beneath the city lies a warren of hidden streets,
Oh, this is so sick.
and they better watch out.
God, so scary. Go ahead. What is that, editor? It looks like there's hay. Where's the horse down here? Where's the cat? It's just a rock. Who are you? Are you a ghost?
No, I'm not. I'm James, but...
Wait, ghost test, ghost
You
test.
can touch me. There we go.
Walk through John,
you can
walk through
stop
John,
Right now.
walk
That's
through me.
probably enough.
No,
No,
he's
we
not a
can't
ghost.
walk through.
He's not a ghost.
But I'd like to tell you about this place. Now, we're on a street. Do you know we're on a street?
Oh, it's a street.
This was a street. It was completely open to the sky originally.
People used to live here.
Yeah, they did. But you have to remember, they didn't have proper toilets or anything like that.
So where do they go toilet?
They had buckets. So what you have to do, you pick up your bucket, you carry it to the door, and you throw it out with a cry of, Gardyloo!
Gardyloo! Woo! Watch out for my poo!
Yes, I mean, it actually comes from French. It's beware of the water.
What they don't know is the losing team tomorrow will be gunged by buckets of false poo representing Gardyloo. Which won't be nice, will it, really?
So you can imagine the diseases and everything here as well, can't you?
Yeah?
Particularly, we get to the plague.
Why is he wearing a beak? Is that like some kind of crazy Halloween costume?
That man is a plague doctor, and what he's trying to do is treat the plague. The bubonic plague was carried by rats and fleas. The first time that you were infected were horrible boils appearing on your neck and armpits. Then black spots would appear on your body. Time to call the plague doctor. Though seeing someone dressed with a beak on their head may not have actually been much help.
Edward, what are you doing daydreaming? Can you still get the plague? Because I sometimes get spots.
All you need these days is, like, antibiotics to stop the plague.
What if I use like exfoliating kit and spot stuff?
That's not going to help. It might cover up what's there, but you're still going to be ill.
Don't worry, boys. A few pimples doesn't mean you've got the plague. They're now halfway through finding out all the facts.
3, 2, 1, fire! That's so cool!
In Edinburgh, lunchtime certainly goes off with a bang when the 1 o'clock gun goes off. It's now less than 24 hours until they'll compete to be the best tour guides. The winning team will be decided when the tourists are tested, and the boys have absolutely no idea what questions they'll be asked. Now the boys need to find out about Scotland's famous tartan.
What is tartan?
This is tartan. Crisscross, mixed squares, thousands of different designs.
And what colours?
The colours, that would very much depend on where you were in Scotland. Originally, many of the tartan colours would have been sourced from local ingredients. The weaver would use gypsy wort to make something green, seaweeds for a flesh colour, and whelks for the colour purple. Scotland's famous heather would be used for yellow, dark green, and an orangey brown. And finally, they would use berries to make the colour blue.
Edward, Barnaby, what makes a traditional outfit?
Start with a kilt, socks that we call hose, a sporran,
So we got the spurn, we got
sporran,
sporran.
It's a sporran, boys. And you'll need to remember that for tomorrow.
sporran is a man purse.
Man bag.
It's a pocket because in normal kilts there are no pockets.
And what's this one called? It's called a waistcoat.
That's just a waistcoat.
A waistcoat, that looks
Yes.
cool. Can we try some on?
You're welcome.
So while Jedward dressed for the part, Celebrity helpers Naomi and Chris are worried about the roles they'll play tomorrow.
Jedward are a bit mad, aren't they? I reckon they might have some crazy things up their sleeve for us.
Like?
I don't like to think about it, really.
Go! Whoa! Whoa! We look so cool. Let's do some arch dancing. Macarena, Macarena. Edward, if we ever want to go back to Scotland, all we do is put our kilts on and spin around and go, there's no place like Scotland. There's no place like Scotland. We're going crazy.
But boys, would you want to come back after this? Their next location is a spooky one.
John, what do you think we're doing here? And all I know is there must be ghosts here. There's loads of graves, and it's really, really scary. And it's raining. I think I'm gonna wee my pants. Don't wet yourself. It's so scary. Who's this lady can help us? Here, what's your name? What's going on here? It's so scary.
Welcome to one of many Edinburgh graveyards. I'm here to tell you about body snatchers.
Body snatchers? What's that?
Well, in the 19th century, medical schools were all over Edinburgh, but they didn't have enough bodies for the students to cut up. So the body snatchers would dig up the freshly buried dead, and they would take the corpses to the doctors. And the doctors would pay these men £7. Sometimes, within a few hours of a body being laid to rest, body snatchers would have it back out of the ground again. The situation got so bad that watchtowers had to be built in the graveyards. Some families even went as far as protecting their loved ones by locking them up in an iron casket called a mort safe, which was fine, just as long as the person wasn't still alive.
John, here, what else can you tell us?
Well, so great was the fear of being buried alive that the dead would be buried with a bell attached to them. And if the poor soul awoke, they could pull on the rope, ring the bell to summon help.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Dead person, but not dead.
It's the way you tell them. It's raining, it's pouring. Let's hope Jedward are not snoring, as they are about to be bewitched by the last story.
So what are we doing here? What are you going to show us?
Well, follow me round the corner.
Nicola, what is this place?
Well, read the first line.
This fountain, designed by John Duncan, is near the site on which many witches were burned at the stake. Witches were burned here?
Edinburgh was the witch-burning capital of Europe. In the 16th century, 300 women were burned as witches here.
Whoa!
The suspected witch would have their wrists and ankles tied together, and they would be thrown into the Nor Loch, which at that time was an open sewer. If they sank and drowned, they were innocent. But if they floated and survived, then they were clearly in league with the devil and must be burned at the stake for being a witch.
I'm not a witch, I'm not a witch!
Well, anyone could be a witch. If somebody didn't like you, you were left-handed, you had a cat, you had red hair.
It's crazy.
Well, they thought that witches could control the weather, that storms and rain was caused by witches.
Ed, I can't believe witches control the weather. Look, it's snowing. Are you a witch? You must be a witch. You gotta be burned. No, that's Dave from the crew. He's a witch. Get the witch! Get the witch! Ah! Ed, okay, we gotta get out of here, okay? What facts do you want to do tomorrow? I don't want to do ghosts.
Well, that's it. The twins have heard all the stories. Now it's back to Jedward HQ.
I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, okay, with these tours, okay? I'm going to be too scared to tell the tours the tour.
Oh, man up, boys.